Evening all, and happy Saturday night to you. As I mentioned on my social media earlier, I was looking to do a video on Roblox and also Minecraft, but I think I'll just do Roblox tonight, and then I'll do a separate one for anyone that's playing Minecraft. But they are quite similar in the style of game and also in the security available. So I should probably start with what Roblox is, because I keep saying it and most people probably haven't got a clue what it is. It is quite a well-known online game that a lot of the youth of today are playing on their phones and tablets, and it's quite similar in that it's an environment game where they play as an avatar of themselves, that they can customize and earn new costumes for, new decorations, that kind of thing. But it's basically an environment that they can build around themselves. So it's worth saying that I had a bad view of this in the beginning when it first came out, and back when it did first come out, it wasn't the sort of game that I would have advised anyone let their kids in to play in, because the security around it was quite rubbish. But I'll be honest, doing the research for this video, I found that they have come a long way in securing things and making things better for kids who are using it. There are literally millions of worlds on there, so people have the ability to create worlds and also create sort of personal servers and that kind of thing. So I'll go into that a little bit when I get to the setting side of things. But there are lots of Roblox created worlds as well, which are basically curated for kids, and for safe havens for kids to be able to socialise. And it's that sort of game where they can socialise. They can socialise with other kids, and they can grow and develop as normal human beings should be able to do. During lockdown, obviously, it's been a struggle for kids to be able to do that. So a lot of them have sort of gone to the internet to be able to carry on socialising with their friends. And I'm not going to knock that. That's brilliant that they can do that. But it comes back to what I've said time and again on all of these videos, is that you need to communicate with them, and you need to supervise to the best of your abilities. And as we've mentioned before, that's difficult with a lot of this stuff, but this is something that you can take control of and you can make safe for them. And which parent doesn't want to do that, right? So what happens when we set up an account? I've been in there today, and I've had a look around, and I set up an account for Donald T, the young lad who is age 8 and needs a lot of supervision on social media and in games, as I've mentioned before in some of my other videos. So I created an account for him, and I put an appropriate age in there, and it's important to remember that the creators of Roblox have put safety features in, especially around young children, and you need to put their actual date of birth in there, not a fake one. Just put the date of birth in there, and when they're of a certain age, there's automatic safety features that are implemented for them to do with chat, and things like that, so that they can't give their real name in chat, they can't give their phone number in chat, and these are all filters in the background that are working to protect your kids. So make sure that they put their correct date of birth in there for a start, is what I would say. When I created young Donald's account, in there, the first time I logged in, there was a warning in his account settings for the requirement to enter a parent's email address. So I went in there, I put my email address in there, and I then had to basically read this email which says that the child's already provided username, date of birth and parent's email address. and it's asking me if I approve of this request. So I was quite happy that was the correct response that I was looking for. So I agreed, I verified the email, and then what I did was, you can either do this on the web, which I'll show you in a bit, but let's jump into the application. And here you see we've already installed it, and if we jump in, so this is Donaldo T's account. I couldn't use Donald T because someone had already taken it. Whether that's the man himself or not, I don't know. But you never know what he's up to. So this is the actual game as you would see it on the phone. This is an Android version. I would think that Apple is probably very similar. If we come down here, it can either be down here or on your actual Android phone. It's probably going to be a cog icon in the top right beside, I would say, probably the bell. And in here you'll see lots of different areas. His profile, any friends that he has, any groups that he's a member of, the inventory. As I said before, a lot of it is to do with building up their belongings and things they can change into, and things they can put into their own worlds that they want to build. But the important one for us at the minute is the settings. So if we go into the settings now, I'll just do a quick run through of each of these areas up for you. So account info is as you would expect. That's where the parent's email address went in, and you can see that it's verified. And it's worth mentioning, you get a free hat just for doing that, so your kid will be happy with that. The kid's birthday, as I said, I put an appropriate one in there for his age. He's a male, and the rest is self-explanatory there. Under security, so two-step verification. You'll have seen my other video on multi-factor, and you can see that it carries across into Roblox and games of its ilk. So two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, like I've said before, have it on and have it configured, because it'll save you a lot of pain. I haven't done it for this video because I've obviously already done a video before. Account controls. Now this is the important part for parents. This is where you can put restrictions in place, and if you choose to do account controls, first thing you want to do is make sure you've got an account PIN in place, and that just means that everything that you now put in place after this point will be protected by that PIN, and your child won't be able to change these things themselves. So put a PIN in there, remember it, write it down somewhere for yourself, but make sure your kid doesn't know it, because then it's pointless having it. Account restrictions. Now this one is worth explaining. So if you turn this on, basically this is what I would suggest if you have a very young child, under the age of say 12. I would turn this on, because this one will allow them to basically play only the games worlds that have been created by Roblox themselves. It also turns off all of the contact settings under the privacy page, which we'll come on to. So effectively they will only be able to read the world chat as it stands, and associate through that. Everything else will be switched off. This is just a cover-all basically for security for your kid, so it's a good one to go with if it's a young kid, as I say. Secure sign out just signs out all other sessions that they may have logged into across different platforms. But that's the one basically that I think if you have a younger child, switch that on and you don't have to worry too much about anything else. If you don't have this on, so we're going to turn this off, and as I said, I've already put the pin in, so I'm going to enter my super secret pin that you now all know, and you'll see that I've turned that off. What we're then going to, in fact, I'm going to turn that back on real quickly because I just wanted to show you something of interest. If we come back out to the main page now and go down here to home. So before I implemented all of that security in place, I jumped into a game to see what was going on in it basically. So if I try now to go into that game after I've turned on, you'll see that I get a join error, and this is nothing more than your security now kicking in, because this is not a curated world. This is a world that has been made by another member of the community called Nicholas in this case. So you can see there your security in action. I can't get in there. It's as simple as that. Even if I come down here to, these other ones that have been created, I don't even get the option now to join. It's because it's not allowed effectively. So that is security in view there. Now what we're going to do is go back into settings. If you look down into privacy, because we've got that switched on, I can't change any of these. And if I come down here to other settings and try and change these, it does it. Really shouldn't have done that. Did I turn it back on? Let's have a quick look now. The joys of a live demo here, ladies and gents. Maybe it's because I've already put the pin in for this session. Apologies. Yeah, that's what it was there. So that's locked again now. So hopefully now if I go into privacy and try and change this to no one, yeah, I have to put the pin in again. I don't know the pin because I'm the kid, so I had myself worried there for a second. So let's go back into security. And as you saw there, because we have account restrictions on, everything was already blanked out. So I'm going to turn that off with my super secret pin again. And then we're going to go back into privacy. You can see there's a timer actually now. That's handy to know. So you've got 4 minutes and 50. If you leave before that, then you need to click on this padlock to put the settings back in place. But let's pop down to privacy. So contact settings is this is everything off, right? So let's have a look at custom. Well, in fact, let's look at what default comes up as. Default is friends can message you, friends can chat with you in the app, and everyone can chat with you in the app. Who can invite me to private servers? Friends can. Who can join me? Friends and users I follow. And who can see my inventory is friends. So they're the standard default ones. I don't like those default settings because I think Donaldo T needs a little bit of extra protection from himself. So we're going to go into custom. So who can message me? I don't mind. I think that friends can message him because I'm going to be keeping an eye on his friends list as well. As a responsible adult to Donaldo T, I think you want to know who he's chatting to. So I'll be looking at his friends list. So I'm happy with that. Who can chat to me in the app? Yeah, again, I'm happy with his friends being able to chat to him. Who can chat with me? Everyone. I'm not happy with that. I don't think that anyone should be able to contact him. I think the previous two cover the fact that his friends can talk to him, but no one else outside his friends can talk to him. There you go. So allows control who the user will be allowed to chat with in game. So these two are who he can receive messages from in their inbox, which I'll have a look at in a second. And this allows who will be allowed to chat with in the app and on the web as well, which is one that I'll show you just before we finish off. And this can be used to prevent them from posting on forums and group walls. Probably a decision for yourselves to make. I'm still happy that friends is okay for that one. Happy for friends to invite him to servers because if it's on a server that he can't access, then that security will kick in and stop him from being able to join that server. And I would probably change this one to friends, but that's a choice for yourself. If you want people who they follow to be able to jump in with them, then so be it. And I'm not really bothered about this one. This is probably more about something to do with the structure of the game and people seeing what items you got. They may want no one to see it, or friends to be able to see it. So again, a choice for yourselves. So that's pretty much where these settings come into play. Billing, as with any game, you know, there's currency which will allow them to buy bigger and better things, or Roblox Premium, you know, is just an added layer of ways of making money. So discussion for you and your kid whether you're going to allow them to have credit. Notifications, simple explanation there is it's just what they'll see in app and what notifications they get, and these will all be covered by the previous security and privacy settings that we discussed. So entirely up to yourselves what notification you want to see. I don't see there being a security or safety element to this, because we've covered off those two in security and privacy. So I'm going to leave this area now, so I'm just going to lock that up again, and then we're going to go back to the initial screen by clicking back loads of times, and we're going to go to the home area. No, we're going to go to the settings area. There we go. So profile, that's the profile. You can change things like that. Very useful to note is the report abuse here. So that is obviously because it's on his own profile. If Donaldo was receiving some abuse from one of his friends or someone that he didn't know, you go to their profile and you can report the abuse via this, and it'll cover off the different areas. So there you go, inappropriate language. Hopefully with the settings that are in place and the age that's been put in for him, he should be seeing that anyway, because that should be covered by the Roblox filters for his age. But yeah, you can report people, same as we've covered off in some of the other apps that we're using. That's Donaldo T. That's currently how he looks. You can change that. That's the hat I was telling you about that I got just for click and verify. And that's his current place. That's where the similarities with Minecraft come in that they build their own environment. They build up on this, they make it bigger and better, and put furniture and all the other groovy stuff that kids are up to these days that keep them out of trouble. I can't believe I just said groovy. That's so wrong. So if we go back, we'll check off on one more thing in here which I want to show you, which was messages. So this is an area you want to be keeping an eye on as well. See what private messaging is going on, and if anyone is in touch with them. I'd like to think not, because of the security we've put in place, but if you've made a decision to have some of those settings different, you may see some activity in here. So it's worth sporadically coming in here and just checking anything in the inbox, if they've sent anything to anyone, and if they've archived anything thinking they can delete it and hide it. That's where you want to be looking. So that's the message center, effectively. Keep an eye on that. The other area you want to check is friends. You want to be keeping an eye on who their friends are, and who they're following and who's following them, but also any requests that come in will be under there, covered off under the settings that we've already mentioned. But the overall security control that we talked about at the start, the one that turns everything to off, it still doesn't stop requests coming in. So it's worth checking in there to see what requests are in that box. And then I'll just quickly show you on the Tinternet. That's the same area with the same settings as we've just gone through in the app, but these are available on the web, and it's effectively exactly the same setup as we just went through. There's nothing too different there. In fact, there's nothing different at all from the quick look I had earlier. So you can log into that anytime and check those things and make sure those settings are still in place, to make sure they haven't reverse engineered your pin out of you, or socially engineered your pin out of you. And as I said at the start, I think Roblox have come a long way, and to be fair, there is obviously on the internetmatters.org, there's a very good guide there that you can use to just refresh, or if you want a bit more information, go there and have a look through. Lots of good information on there, but as they themselves point you in the direction of Roblox themselves have got a very good page that just explains some of the stuff that they already have built in. So this is again why you want to put the real address, the real date of birth, because there's avatar clothing detection, which means that they just can't run around naked and obviously in an appropriate way be used for that. There's a reporting system which I explained before, how to report that abuse. Very, very thorough, very in-depth. The chat filters, for the age limit, it stops them from being able to give their own name, give their phone number out, that sort of thing. Brilliant, you know, helps to protect your kid from giving out information they shouldn't be giving out. And the parental controls that we've just sort of gone through there, I explained each of those in depth, so not going to go into too much there. But worth keeping an eye on that as well for any more updated information that comes out. Go. So yeah, that was Roblox. Things to remember: just it is a social platform for them, and as with everything that I've said so far on other videos, a very good tool for development for your kids, for social integration, for social development, and used in the right way, a very good way to help them stay in touch with their friends and enjoy time, you know, socializing with their friends. But something that is definitely used for very dark activity as well, that you don't want your kid being exposed to. I know you don't want your kid being exposed to it because you're watching this video for a start, so thank you for that. If there are any questions, as always, I am more than happy to answer them, to put any more content together that's useful for you as parents, and help you out as much as possible to understand the intricacies and of the internet and of all these apps that are popping up left, right and centre, which, you know, I don't blame you for being confused by, because they are confusing. So hopefully I've managed to explain that a little bit easier and better for yourselves. If you do have anything, just drop it in the comments, drop me an email. Please remember to subscribe for any future content, and share it out there far and wide. Let's get that message out to as many parents as possible. But have a good night all, and catch you next time.